pass across, sanitize my hands. And we're gonna put on gloves. So this is gonna be, y'all have seen the refresh facial, but this is gonna be a more advanced facial with the intent for you guys to understand products a little bit better and how you include additional products into the facial, whether it's for sales, for at-home care, or just for you to overall just know product ingredients. So some additional products we have on our cart today, aside from the basics, is the hydrating marine mask. If the client is allergic to seashells or shellfish or any type of seafood, they cannot use the marine mask. But the marine mask is great for hydrating the skin. It's great for restoring the skin. It's great for repairing the lipid barriers. So it's a really good hydrating, restoring, replenishing mask. Better than the aloe and azelaine's in my opinion. Then we've got the HA serum. Y'all remember we talked about hyaluronic acid holding 1,000 times its water weight, and also, holding 1,000 times its water weight, and also having that niacinamide in here. So this does have both, but you remember you also have the peptide 13 in here, which helps to repair as well and retain moisture in the skin. The next thing that we have here additional is the Pure C Serum. So this is going to help with hyperpigmentation, evening out the skin tone. Remember, there is 3 forms of vitamin C in here. And then we've got the Mistero tetrapeptide in here, which helps repair and hydrate. And then lastly, an additional product we have is the Power Rescue. Remember, this is all about restoring the skin. It's all about replenishing the skin. It's all about repairing any damage to the skin. So these 3, I would say, if I had to choose additional things to have on my cart for a facial, these will probably be the 3 most common things that you will need to utilize, because everybody's lacking hydration to some degree. Everybody is going to say at some point that they have a hyperpigmentation concern, and everybody at some point has a sensitized or sensitive skin. So these 3 serums, in my opinion, I feel like Elaine should make a trio pack with these 3, where it's like a bundle, because these are the 3 most the 3 most needed serums out of all of her serums that I would say would kind of help the skin. So now you have kind of some common knowledge about the additives to the facial. Now we're going to get into the facial. So I'm going to take some of my warm water and fill up my bowl. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to take my 4x4s and pre-moisten all of them, and I'm going to wring them out. Ooh, that's hot. I'm going to wring them out, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep them in my towel cavity. That's going to give me the ability to just kind of grab and remove instead of having to deal with the drips on the hand and stuff like that. I like to do facials with you guys throughout the weeks so that I can assess what I'm seeing could be a potential comment, concern during a facial with you all, so that I can give you solutions. And one of the things that I'm seeing when you guys are doing facials is there's a lot of water dripping back onto the client, because some of you are forgetting to drip. So that would be a great solution for any of you guys who probably know you tend to forget to dry your hands before you go back over the client. Just pre-moisten them and keep them in there. That way you have something that if you need to go back in there, then you can go back. So it's all about eliminating and reducing. So first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just feeling the skin, looking at the skin, feeling the texture before I even do a cleanse. So I'm feeling some texture on the skin. It's slightly dry in some areas. I do see a little bit of shine and some comedones. So I want to see how that changes as I do the first cleanse. So we're going to start with our pre-cleanse and we're going to do the cleansing routine. And that looks like your mild cream cleanser. If you don't have the mild cream cleanser, the Limu cleanser is another pre-cleanse, or the Barrage foaming leaf cleanser can be a double cleanser. So those are the cleansers that you'll see in the retail area that are similar or comparable to this if this is ever out of stock. So when you're selling products to clients, let's say they need the mild cream cleanser, those are the two other type of cleansers that you would say, okay, well this one's out of stock, but these have similar ingredients and they have the same benefits, Barrage or the Limu. So I'm gonna take my cleanser. I'm gonna also take my sponges. I'm gonna pre-moisten my hand on one side, lathering away from the client. Now we're gonna apply. And we're gonna start with effleurage, horizontal. Then we're going vertical. Friction. Petrissage. Staying connected to the client. I need a little more water for some more slip. Petrissage. Friction on the forehead. And as I'm cleansing her skin, I'm still feeling for the texture that I've sensed without cleansing. I want to see if, as I'm applying these ingredients that are more hydrating, because remember this has that witch hazel in it, which is an astringent, and it also has the mysterol tetrapeptide in it that kind of helps to hydrate. I want to see if the skin is softening, because if it's softening, that's going to let me know the degree of dryness. I can feel in certain areas, like around the mouth area, it's not getting softer. So she's more of a moderate dry skin type in this area. But everywhere else, I can feel where the texture has kind of softened with the moisture levels. So that's going to give me an idea of exactly what's going on the skin. I'm also thinking about the texture as far as congestion. These are great things to start to think about before you even get to skin analysis, because you'll have a kind of an idea of what's going on the skin before you even analyze the skin. This is an area people most commonly skip under the nose. I like to give it a good cleanse. So now we're going to remove. If you're using the 4x4s, you're going to wrap in between the two middle fingers. That way they're hosted in place. And you're going to remove the same way you applied the cleanser. Always going up or out. I do see a little bit of erythema right in the corner of the nose. Don't forget behind the ears. So right here, I see where some redness has produced based on manipulation or stimulation. So we want to pay attention to that as well to make sure that it's not a sensitivity and it's just redness. It's just regular erythema. So now we're ready for skin analysis. And I'm going to first take a 4x4, pre-moistened One of the other things that I see is people applying these 4x4s dry to the skin. It does not hold to the skin, and it will more than likely fall if you don't pre-moisten it. So you want to wet it first, stretch it, and then twist it. Place it on the skin. So you're going to see a bright light come into plain view. So in skin analysis, remember we're looking for the overall visible tone, texture, temperature. We're going to check elasticity and circulation. And we're going to compliment the client. We're going to ask them, is there anything that they would like to see change about their skin? And then we're going to summarize everything and give them a plan of action before we do anything. Next, then we move into the Sadescu charting. So I'm looking at your skin, and the overall tone looks pretty good. I do see hyperpigmentation, just a little bit around the mouth area, which is completely normal. I do see some hyperpigmentation on the nose area. And I see some very small spots of hyperpigmentation on the forehead and the cheek. Texture. I feel some texture right here on the jawline. Texture on the cheek area. The nose. And as I'm moving my finger across, I can visibly see dry skin flakes coming up. So I know that she's very dry right now. The texture on the forehead is a little bit smoother than everywhere else. As far as oil production, I see some oils on the nose. I also, because we see those comedones in the nose and cheek area, we know that she may be an oilier skin type or may have some problematic skin in certain areas. Don't be afraid to move the client's face so you can really see. I do see vellus hair. So she would be a perfect client for a dermaplaning facial. I do see some open comedones or blackheads that could be used to extracted. I do see congestion in the cheek area with visible dryness over top of the congestion. So what I think we're dealing with here is a combination of dehydrated skin. We see fine lines. The skin is actually cooler on the cheek area. It's slightly warm here. So I know this is actually some oil production in the center of the face, but here, this is dehydration. But I can tell by the visible open comedones that she has here, blackheads, that she does have some regular oil production in that area. So I'm going to categorize this area as dehydrated. She is a combination oily skin type based upon the comedones that we see, the oil production that we see in the center of the face, as well as the active breakouts that we see from place to place. Then we're going to check her circulation as I hold down 2 seconds and release. It returns, the fluid, blood returns back within 2 seconds. So she has some pretty good circulation. And then her elasticity. It could use some improvement. It's not warping exactly like Jell-O. So that lets me know that also the hydration levels in the dermis of the skin based on the collagen and elasticity could use some improvement. So she has some average hydration down in the dermis of the skin. She's dehydrated or experiencing transepidermal water loss on the surface of the skin. Is there anything that you would like to see visibly improved about your skin today?
Like you said, I do have dry skin, so I
Mhm.
just want my skin to look more hydrated, and then my nose area, how I have a bumpy nose, I would like for it to smoothen out.
Okay, so texture and hydration. So texture and hydration is the goal of this facial today. So that lets us know, remember on that third page of the Sedesco chart, the overall treatment plan, those will be the things that we will be focusing on today. And based upon my skin analysis, I'm seeing texture in dry skin. That is what she wants to improve. So that lets me know that overall today, I'm gonna use the Daily Gentle Cleanser. The reason why I'm going to use the Daily Gentle Cleanser is because it has just the right amount of suffocants in it to kind of basically cut through the excess oil so that we can really get in there and exfoliate with the micro C. If I use the mild cream cleanser again, because she's a dry skin type, ideally I would use this. However, I want to make sure that I cut through all of the oil so that we can get down to the skin. I want to remove as much oil and debris off the surface of the skin so that when we exfoliate, I can really get in there and slough off as much as possible. Because a large contribution to her dry skin is the dead skin cells. So you want to get all of that out. Next, we're going to do the micro C exfoliant. I'm going to do it separate instead of whipped. I don't see any sensitivities on her skin. The completely went back down, so that lets me know it's just erythema. So I'm going to exfoliate with the crystals, and then we're going to take the step 2 with the activator and activate that. She'll feel a boost of heat on the skin, 30 to 60 seconds, and then 30 to 60 seconds with the activator. The toner of choice, I'm going to tone her skin today with a clarifying toner instead of the daily nutrient toner. Why? Because the salicylic acid in here will help with all of the congestion that we see overall on the skin. This is also a product that I would recommend that she takes home today to utilize. So that will be something that will go on that third page as well as a at-home treatment. Hydration is a concern, so the only thing that we would be focused on as far as a mask would be hydration. So it would either be the aloe and azelene or the marine mask. Are you allergic to shellfish?
No.
So we're going to use a marine mask because this is going to be a lot more intense. You're looking at the ingredients. There's still the organic aloe leaf juice in here, just like the aloe and azelene. You have glycerin, which is a humectant that binds moisture into the skin. You look at the sea algae extract, that is going to repair and restore the lipid barrier of the skin, which is responsible for the moisture in the skin. And then you have a form of vitamin C in here, which is going to brighten. You have a retinol pomade, which is a derivative of retinol, so it's going to anti-age. And then you have spirulina, beta-glucan. Those are also, spirulina is great for plumping the skin, which we are concerned with the collagen in the skin that's responsible for the plumpness. And then there is, lastly, beta glucan, which we know based off of our PowerPoint. We'll do the PowerPoint again later. Beta glucan is responsible for, again, repairing and restoring moisture into the lower layer of the skin. You got your papillary layer and reticular layer of the dermis. That bottom layer, the factory that we talk about, that's the area that we're focusing on as far as the beta glucan. Any questions about the mask?
What ingredient is it that makes it not good for people who are used to sausage and seafood?
So a couple of ingredients. The sea algae extract, one, and then also the, where is the other one? Spirulina. So those, when you're thinking about ingredients and someone being allergic to shellfish, anything that comes from the sea or brings the splendor of the sea into skincare is just like eating shellfish. So although they extract it and they do the chemical process, it is still from the sea. So the mask is a derivative of the sea. So anybody who's allergic to anything from the sea would have an allergic reaction to this mask. And it's the same thing with, there's something else that she has with, I have to go look at the products. There's something else that she has that also, if you're allergic to shellfish, you should stay away from. As far as the hydration, when we get to closing rituals, because she has pigmentation concerns that I pointed out in the forehead area and then on the cheek area, we're gonna do the Pure C first. I'm sorry, we're gonna do the hyaluronic acid serum first because we wanna pull that hydration into the skin. Then I'm gonna tone her skin. The water from the toner, the hyaluronic acid will pull that water in. Next, I'm going to do the Pure C serum. So that's gonna help to brighten and even. And finally, I'm gonna do just a little bit of Power Rescue on top of all of that with the moisturizer, just to kind of cap off and lock in everything and restore the skin. That way she has a good combination of serums that are treating the skin. Here's the thing about serums. I'm only doing this now in the facial because I want you guys to understand the ingredients. But using these products once in a facial ain't gonna do nothing for her. It's gonna do some instant results, but she would need to purchase these serums and take them home and have a consistent regimen for her to see true results. It takes 30 days for the skin cells to turn over. So if it takes 30 days for the skin cells to turn over, it takes 30 days to treat the factory of the dermis, for it to come up to the top and to see that new skin that's receiving these serums. Remember that serums are lightweight moisturizers that penetrate deeper than a moisturizer. They go down to the bottom of the dermis to treat the problems in the factory. The moisturizer is what coats and protects the upper layer of the skin. So when you're thinking about that, I can put these on her so she can feel them and experience them and see an instant result, because you will see some instant results. But if she really wants to see results, I've got to send her home with products, with a skincare regimen, and a specific and strict regimen. I like to follow up with my clients every 2 weeks, even if it's through text. I always make them check the box. Can I text you? And I will text that client, hey, how's the product working? What are you seeing results? Do you have any questions? Are there any concerns that you have? If there's any ingredients that you're unsure about, I'm more than willing to give you 5 minutes on FaceTime just to talk about that ingredient. Shoot me a text back whenever you're available, and I'll make some available time for you. That's how you keep a client. That's how you sell a product. That's how you keep the client on the product. The number one reason in retail why clients return a product is because of lack of knowledge. You have to educate, not sell. And y'all know, moisturizer, SPF to close. So we're gonna get into this facial. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay. Notice I put my hand on the client. I just took the thing off of her eyes. She doesn't know what's going on. It takes the eye some time to reset to the light. So if I say anything and move over her, that can scare the client. So the first thing I want to do is press on the client's shoulder and then ask my question. Those little things are important, and those are the things that will make you a master esthetician and not just an esthetician. So I'm going to start with the Daily Gentle or Daily Nutrient. Yeah, Daily Gentle Cleansing. And I'm going to take a little water. The lather, that's still before that, right? Okay. Application. Effleurage.
So when I would do like this is daily, would I use the Daily Gentle or would I use the mild?
I would have you use the Daily Gentle at night and the mild cream cleanser in the morning, if it's an at-home care routine. And the reason why is because you've cleansed your skin at night, so when you wake up in the morning, there's not much that needs to be cleansed off aside from the elements that are in your house. And you want to be more gentle on your skin through the day because it's going to go through a lot throughout the day. And then the daily gentle cleanser, I'm gonna recommend that to you at night because it does have a little bit more of an efficacy as far as cutting through excess oils, debris, and sebum and different things that your skin has kind of grabbed onto throughout the day. So I'm gonna make sure that I have a good cleansing routine for you that's conducive to what your skin is gonna need. So for example, when it comes to someone who has problematic skin, we use the clarifying cleanser because we need to treat that skin at night. It's no different for someone who doesn't have problematic skin. The only thing you're treating is debris, pollution, free radicals from the outside elements. Don't forget to cleanse behind the ears. Don't forget the corners of the nose, underneath the nose. We're gonna cleanse the eyes. So now we're ready to remove. I'm gonna use 4x4s, and then I'll take my sponges.
Could we also use the steam towels?
You could use the steam towels too. I just like to save mine for the mass, the micro C, and then the back. And really, technically, the protocol calls for 4 steam towels. I like to keep the minimum down to 3 because I'm thinking about budget. I'm thinking about if this is my practice and if I am using 4 steam towels and I have 4 refresh facials, the company that's gonna come and pick up my towels is gonna charge me per pound. So if I have less than a pound, they're still gonna charge me for a pound. So I don't wanna make laundry if I don't need it. So if I have a couple, I can just take that to the on-site laundry and just kind of wash it. So you think about price points and things like that. And also, even washing it yourself, you have to include all of those things into your budget. Laundry detergent, the chelating soap, all of those things. So I wanna make sure that as much as possible, I'm reducing usage of towels. I'm using the correct amounts of product as far as proportions. Serums are like 1 to 2 pumps, moisturizer 1 pump, toner 4 to 5 sprays per application. Cleansers, you're looking at a dime to a quarter size. That stuff makes a difference because you'll run out quick and you'll be like, oh my God, I gotta order. When I didn't know portion control, I was ordering products over and over and over again. Question?
Are you using those 2 sponges over and over again?
Yep.
Okay.
So that's why it's good to have warm water. And you're thinking about, a lot of people say, oh, you're washing in dirty water. Well, guess what? I remove cleanser. So there's cleanser in the water. So the water is not technically that dirty and really is only the client's face. So remember, I use 4x4s on the body. And then when I switch back to the face, I use the cotton sponges. But even if you use it on the face and the body, it's not the end of the world. That's why once you rinse it, you see they're back clean. You're still using it clean. And if you need to change the water, you always have your kettle. But that's a big thing I've noticed. Some students say, oh, if the water is dirty. It's not dirty. It's not the end of the world. Because at the end of the day, you're still cleansing the skin. So I'm feeling her skin, even after the skin analysis, it's still really, really, really dry. I feel a lot of texture. So we're gonna make sure that by the time she gets up from here, she has some hydration down in the dermis all the way to the top. So now that I've done my second cleanse, we know the plan of action. I'm gonna take a second, I thought this was gonna stop. I'm gonna take a second to chart. So I have my Sedesco chart here. And once you know the stuff, you should know the stuff. Like I know what's going on her skin, so I don't need to have it in your head. So we know that she's combination oily. Also, she's dry on the outer perimeter, so I'll write outer next to that. The skin moisture levels on the top are low. The moisture levels in the dermis were average. The elasticity was average. The blood circulation was good. The muscle tone was average. Skin thickness, actually it's thick. Sensitivities, there was no mechanical, thermal, well, she did have thermal sensitivities. So anytime you see erythema, that's how you know it's a thermal, that's heat. So from friction, the heat, it will create that erythema in the skin. The superficial lines, expression lines, and wrinkles, we only seen expression lines on the forehead. Her Fitzpatrick is between a 4 and a 5. Yeah.
So
I'm gonna go with
determine the Fitzpatrick.
where the person's DNA comes from, the skin tone. So a lot of people think it's just skin tone, like, oh, you fall into this range. But it has a lot to do with the DNA. You gotta know where somebody comes from sometimes. For example, somebody in the Middle Eastern, I may say, oh, they're Fitzpatrick 5. Not necessarily. That doesn't mean that the sensitivity on their skin is gonna represent a 5. They could be from the Middle East areas, but be half European. So there's gonna be some sensitivity there. Even though their skin is more susceptible for less sensitivity, there's gonna be some there. So I have to kind of gauge between those things to kind of truly know someone's Fitzpatrick. And then superfluous hairs, we've seen them on the jawline. That's just peach fuzz. And then the pores and follicles were on the nose, the cheeks, the chin. We're gonna move to this next part. So we already kind of discussed comedones here. We discussed some pustules on the outer perimeters and papules. So we're gonna check, I always do this upside down. We're gonna check comedones, papules, pustules. We've seen some redness. We're gonna point that out as sensitivity. I didn't check for scars. There was no scarring. We do see smile lines. So when I do the micro C, I'm not only gonna focus on exfoliation of the dead skin cells, I'm also gonna focus on her expression lines. Reducing texture in that area will make the actual lines less visible. Does that make sense? So the more texture that builds up inside of a secretion of the skin, or not a secretion, an indentation of the skin, the more emphasized it becomes. The less texture you create in that area, the less emphasized it becomes. We've seen hyperpigmentation on the foreheads, the chin. We knew that, oh, where's my third sheet? Hold on. We knew that the overall treatment plan was going to be hydration and hyperpigmentation. Yep.
With like moles that are in people's skin, because I know I have some on my face,
Mhm.
would that be considered hypopigmentation?
No, a mole is a little bit different. That's a lesion. So that's a continuation of the skin. And then I'm not gonna fill out all these products. I told y'all already what products we're gonna use, but you would fill that out. That way they know what products were used on them during the facial. Any questions about the Suggesco charting
On the
question.
third, where would you put the serums you recommend? Under HA or
On the third page, where is it? In recommended future salon and at-home care, or you would put it moisturizer, because remember, a moisturizer, a serum is a lightweight moisturizer, just that penetrates deeper. So I may put like next to moisturizer, total every day, and then I may put night, under night, treat, and then I'll write those serums. And then maybe you want to do these in rotation. You're going to use the hyaluronic acid serum morning and night every day because it's hydration. But maybe the Pure C I'm going to use on a Tuesday and a Thursday. So I'll write that in on Tuesday and Thursday. And then the Power Rescue, maybe I want her to use that on a Monday and a Friday to kind of help keep the skin restored. So you would kind of put them on a treatment plan. But that Elaine Sterling treatment card that I gave you guys, the turquoise and white one, that one breaks everything down day by day. So it'll help you kind of, that's what they would take home to know, okay, this is what I'm gonna do day to day. You see how it says morning, night, and then you can kind of, yeah. So now that I've charted, we're gonna move into the exfoliation portion of this, the facial. What time is it? 10:41. 10:41. So we should be done by 11. It's not. Remember, this is a 30-40 minute facial. It really should be 20-30 minutes. Without the talking, it would be way faster than this. So I'm gonna take my crystals. And take a stick applicator. This is all you need, sometimes less. But remember, we're dealing with somebody with a lot of dryness on the skin, so I'm gonna use a little bit more than what we would usually use. A lot of people think the more of the crystals you use, the more of an exfoliant you're gonna get. Actually, it's less. The less you use, the more crystals slough across the skin to remove. When you're using a little bit more than usual, it's because there's a buildup of texture. And you don't want the heat regulation to disintegrate the crystals before they can actually do the job. So that's the only difference in the two. I'm gonna take my top off my activator so that when I'm ready, I don't have to struggle. So 30 to 60 seconds is the move of the crystals. I'm gonna first apply these crystals to the areas of concern. And very light pressure. How's your skin feeling?
Feels
Okay. Very light pressure, not too, a lot of people add a lot of heavy weight, you're gonna create inflammation in the skin. Very soft. The crystals are there to do the job, not you. I wanna stretch the skin because there's a lot of congestion right here, hyperpigmentation. We're gonna move to the next area. And again, I wanna emphasize those smile lines, and then we're gonna take some here, right on the nose. So notice 30 to 60 seconds, but I'm using more than 30 seconds, but I'm not staying in a specific area. If you're gonna spend time to exfoliate, make sure that you pay attention to the quadrants that you're in. Now I'm gonna take our activator. I always say 3 to 4 pumps. I'm gonna apply first. remember, she said she wanted to remove the texture from the nose. I'm gonna spend a little bit more time there because I wanna make sure that I'm getting the results that she desires. You wanna make sure you focus on the goal, but also pay attention to what the client is asking and make sure that there is a visible change there. If it's possible. Sometimes it's gonna take a series of stuff to make that change possible. So now, I'm gonna take my first steam towel. How's the temperature? I'm gonna fold like an accordion underneath the chin, wrap over. The nose and the mouth is exposed so they can breathe. I'm gonna do some short compressions to soften anything that's on the skin for an easy removal. Fold like a mitten and like a mitten. You're always pulling up and out, or out and up. When I'm using something that has crystals or salt or anything, whether it's the body or the face, I'm always thinking short staccato movements because it helps to move the product easily.
So is the smile lines because of dehydration?
Partially, but majority of expression line is from the expression. But dehydration will emphasize the appearance of it. So I'm pulling all of those crystals up to the zygomatic bone, which is the cheekbone. And then I'm gonna figure 8 and scoop it away. Same thing on the other side. Pull it up, figure 8, scoop it away. Now I'm gonna use my sponges for anything that may be left on the skin. So before I move forward, I want to check and see, has the texture improved? I see a major improvement of the texture. The skin is brighter, the skin is even. I don't know if you guys can see, the skin has brightened up. So that's the vitamin C inside of the crystals. The activator activates those physical exfoliants. You have lactic acid, glycolic acid, and I forget the third acid that is in the activator that helps to further release the glue that's holding on to those dead skin cells. I even see her hyperpigmentation has brightened up in certain areas. So now we're ready for a mask application. We're gonna do the hydrating marine mask. When you have a mask with a pump on it, you wanna make sure that you hold on your last pump and twist so that you relock it. Otherwise, you'll waste a lot of product. Especially when you're a traveling esthetician, it's important that you lock it back when you're done. So I'm gonna take my fan brush. I like to swirl mine around in the mask. They both equally get the same amount of mask. We're gonna start from the décolleté. I'm gonna place it there, allow her body to adjust to the temperature of the cool mask. Go out, in, out, in. From the jaw up. Now we're going to pick up more of the mask out. And you want to make sure that you use all that mask because it ain't cheap and you don't want to waste product. And you want to make sure that the client gets all of their money's worth. Even okay to put it on the lips. So I'm gonna use the mask as my décolleté massage. You could use oil, but she's lacking a lot of hydration, even in the décolleté area. So me using the mask is gonna be more beneficial for her. It is a gel-based mask. So remember, well, I haven't taught you guys massage yet. There's 3 types of massage mediums: gel, cream, or oil. So this falls into the gel category. So it's okay to use the mask as your décolleté massage. So I'm gonna start, go down, up the sternocleidomastoid, back down to flip to the sternum. Start from the right, start to the left, all the way across shoulder to shoulder. I see a lot of people start here and they go halfway. Nope, side of the shoulder, all the way to the other side, side of the shoulder, all the way to the other side, back to the center. Go out away from each hand, down the shoulders, up the shoulders, behind the trap, up the sternocleidomastoid, which is the muscle here that's responsible for turning the neck left to right, up. Then you're gonna flip your hands down, place it back on the sternum. And 1, and 2, and center, and down. Going up to the trap. Add pressure up the sternocleidomastoid. Flip again to the right, left, center, and down. Going up, pressure up, sternocleidomastoid. Flip down. Now we friction. Friction 1, 2, 3, 4, down 5, 6, 7, 8, up 1, 2, 3, 4, flip, and again. Friction 1, 2, 3, 4, down 5, down 6. This is a moderate pressure. 8, and up to the back of the trap, sternocleidomastoid, flip down. So I do everything in 3s. 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, going up to the traps, pressure, sternocleidomastoid, flip. From now here, I'm gonna go back to 1, 2, center 3, down 4. I'm gonna do this 3 times. And up, flip, down. 1. Your massage is about 3 to 5 minutes for the refresh facial.
So what should the mask be feel like?
Slight tingle. Really not really a tingle, but some people have a slight tingle to it. It should feel more cooling than anything. Are you feeling anything different other than that?
It feels like toothpaste.
You're extremely dry, so that's that tingling sensation. So it's really penetrating into the skin. This is my 3rd time. Now I'm gonna move to the sides of the neck. So on that last up to here, I'm right here at the nape of the neck. I'm gonna lift, I'm gonna rock, 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 and place it down on one side, supporting with the bottom hand. I'm gonna use my working hand, friction up the back of the neck. So this is your sternocleidomastoid right here. You wanna be right behind that muscle. All of the tendons right here are what we're massaging. Friction all the way up. Stop at the nape, press down, up, again. Friction, 2, 3, and stop, and press, going down, and up, and friction, 2, 3, press, down, and up. From here, going all the way up, make sure the wrist flat, rock, 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 and again, other side, 1, 2, 3, and press, and down, and up, again, 2, 2, 3, press, going down, and up, last time, 1, 3, press, going down, and up, and here. From here, I'm gonna pull the head out of the socket. My only tension is in my fingers that are underneath the nape. I'm not squeezing the head or anything. I'm just pulling, place it down, feather away. Any questions about décolleté massage? We'll practice that, what's today, Tuesday? We'll practice that Thursday. Now she's ready for product removal. So I'm gonna take my mask. I'm gonna show you how to remove a mask with 4x4s, and then I'll use the steam towel. Because there's a specific way that you wanna remove. Here at the Elaine Sterling Institute, honey, everything's gotta be pretty. It is what it is. Like Elaine will literally say it needs to be pretty. And I totally agree, because you think about the experience of what looks pretty, feels pretty. So if I'm doing something ugly, it probably feel ugly to the client even though they can't see it. Does that make sense? So you gotta make it pretty. So when you're removing, it's always effleurage. Vertical, down and up. Place it down, go down and up. Then I'm gonna take my steam towel. So that's how you always wanna remove anything in that same motion. That way they get the feel of something that feels nice. I'm gonna fan this out because they get hot. How's the temperature?
It's good.
So now I'm going to place, fold, 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 and wrap, wrap. Nose and mouth exposed, compressions. Here to here, up and out. Under and up. Underneath the nose. One of the biggest things that I've seen on Saturdays is it's nothing like coming to check the client at the front desk and you see masks still all up under the client's nose. Make sure y'all get under the people's nose. Cause that's bad. It is. If you look at her lips, it's a beautiful flush pink now. The mask is good for everywhere. Like the tone in her lip, it's plump, it's hydrated. So make sure when you're using a hydrating mask, or like the aloe and azulene mask, make sure you're putting it on the lips too. The lips need some of those benefits too. And then we fold in. We're going out, down, up, underneath, and up. Another thing that I like to do sometimes is twist just a little bit. If you can't see what's going on under there, you just put it right underneath. Don't pull down. We ain't choking nobody. This ain't no action movie. But just cross, 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 and pull it up, and then wrap it away. I do see some product on her eyes, like right in the center of the eye, so I'm just gonna use my sponge again. Okay. So now we're at closing rituals. Skin feels extremely hydrated right now. It's really soft. I don't feel any more of that texture. The skin is even brighter now, because remember, vitamin C. So the brightening is a consistent thing. Now we're gonna use our clarifying toner and tone the skin before we do our closing rituals. Stretching the arm all the way up and allowing that product to fall over the entire décolleté and face and fanning it away. You can also spray a little bit on your hands, press it into the skin. So notice, she could use some extractions, but we didn't do them. This is a refresh facial. That's my opportunity. Sell her products in the retail area because she's gonna need them, and also to rebook her next facial. You can't do everything at once, especially if a client came in for a refresh facial. Normally they don't know what they want. They're not sure, they just know they need a facial. So I'm gonna treat the skin and show them the visible results and build that trust in the client because they see the result-driven products and facial. And then I'm gonna tell them, okay, your next treatment plan is gonna be 2 weeks out. I wanna see you again. You have some extractions that I need to do to your skin. And there we'll focus more on hyperpigmentation even more, and we'll do some extractions. So that next facial will be, me personally, I will give her the oxygen facial next time, because that's gonna oxygenate underneath the skin, kill any bacteria. I can do extractions, get anything out the top layers of the skin, and then we can go ahead and keep her on a good plan once we get the skin to where she needs. My goal is never to keep a client coming to me over and over again. My goal personally is to keep that client, it's to get that client's skin to a state where it needs to be, sell them products, and keep the connection with the products. Because if they can care for their skin and maintain it, they don't need me. If they know how to do a good skincare regimen at home, they'll probably only need to see me once a month versus getting them on a consistent plan of every 2 to 3 weeks. So that should be your goal. And that's why you always need to be out there in Target and everywhere else, having conversations with people in the beauty aisle, letting them know, hey, I'm an esthetician. Let me recommend you this product because of this ingredient. Show them that you know your stuff with the products in the store. And then here's my business card. If you ever need a facial or you need some products that are a little bit more result driven, I'm more than happy to assist you. So you always got to keep doing that to keep bringing in new clients. It never stops. So we're gonna go in with the HA serum now that we've toned the skin. 2 pumps in the hand. I'm gonna press this into the skin. You're gonna feel an intense cooling sensation over your skin. Don't forget the décolleté. You see that skin lumping up instantly. I'm gonna take 2 pumps of the Pure C serum. And we're gonna focus this in the areas of concern. Our areas of concern were the cheek and forehead. So I wanna put them in those areas first and then work it everywhere else. And notice I'm pressing, almost like a suction. Pressing the product in, that suction kind of pulls, helps things to pull or compactly pull it out of the pore. Now we're gonna take our moisturizer and sunscreen. Moisturizer should go all over the décolleté as well. SPF. 1 to 2 pumps. And then I'm gonna seal the deal with our Power Rescue. Come on, baby. Bring a little bit of blood flow to the lips. And then we're going to close with pressure point. This is what we'll learn today. 3 times, 3 seconds, 3 to 6 seconds actually, but I do 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, to the brow, 1, 2, 3, arch of brow, 1, 2, 3, in the brow, 1, 2, 3, center of forehead, 1, 2, 3, up, 2, 2, up, 2, 3, 1, chin, 3, underlip, 2, 3, nasolabial fold, 3, cheek, 2, 3, zygomatic bone, 3, inner brow, 2, 3, arch of brow, 2, 3, end of brow, 2, 3, center, 2, 3, up, 2, 3, 1, 2, last time, and 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, brow, 2, 3, arch, 2, 3, in, 2, 3, center, 2, 3, and up, 2, 3, up, 2, 3, from here to the temple, hold 3 seconds, feather away. So that's gonna be your ending of your facial. Remember, we have that 1 steam towel closing ritual. I'm gonna go ahead and step behind my client. I'm gonna let them know, okay, so your facial is done. A little bit of pressure on the shoulder in case they're asleep. I'm gonna give you my arm. You're gonna grab my arm with both hands. I'm gonna help you up. And stay here for a second. I'm gonna take my cooling oil, menthol oil, peppermint oil, whichever one you get. About 2 to 3 drops into the palm of the hand. Sweep away all of the energy, help them wake up. Right across the back, that last steam towel. We're gonna take that last steam towel, bend it out. Remember, the back is highly sensitive, so this heat needs to be lower than what it would be on the front of the body. If it's too hot for your wrist, it's too hot for the client. How's the temperature? So I'm gonna fold this and wrap it around. I like to keep a bundle right here on the neck. This is a pressure point. And then petrissage right across the shoulders. This will help wake them up. And sweep all the product away. She'll feel a cool rush once that towel goes off. And then you'll tell them, okay, so I'm gonna step out the treatment room, give you opportunity to change back into your clothes, and I'll come back. Would you like some water? You always offer them some water. We always have water at the front desk. So that's your opportunity to step out, go grab a water, maybe look at the products for a second, notate, and come back with their treatment card, their water, and then you're gonna have that conversation with them. So just really quickly, we're gonna have that conversation with her in the front, okay? Just so we have that, and then we'll go to lunch.